Welcome back, and today I got a lot of Kizers to show y'all, some new ones and some that are on sale right now. And if you were interested in any of these, I didn't want to let y'all miss out. Right now you can get not this particular one, but the Kizer Feist, the smaller version with the clip point blade with the red ridge light in CPM 4V steel for $49.50. I'm going to link all this stuff down in the description, but just wanted to see, I just noticed all these sales going on, some of them on Amazon, some of them on Blade HQ. You can also get the Kizer Chili Pepper. This is a Swags design, aluminum scales, button lock, CPM 3V steel for $54. That is outrageous. This thing makes some really cool noises. That ting it makes. Nice front flipper and thumb stud dual deploying. Very smooth action. The Feist XL, not with the fat carbon, but with the micarta scales and the 154 cm blade. You can get it for $61. That is a steal. This thing, I've handled all three of them, and they're so smooth, comfortable with the contoured scales, excellent size, crown spine. Love the XL Feist. Love it. And another one that I just happened to come across, I'll throw a picture up on the screen. You can get the Kizer In Yan, one that I never did get, but I did like the look of it. It's an N690 steel with a G10 bolster and micarta covers on it, and they're going for $34 on Amazon. I'm guessing they're about to discontinue it, so I'm guessing they're just blowing them out, just like that Feist and 4V. So if you ever wanted either one of those knives, now's the time to get it. Now let's get into the new stuff. Now, you've probably seen this one on the channel before. This is the Kizer Escort, a Dirk Pinkerton design, and it has the aluminum scales with their clutch lock and 20 CV blade steel. Now, I know this one was a more premium one, and it was a good, had a premium price tag on it, and a lot of people, didn't want to shell out that kind of money for this one, and I get it. Times are tough, and you might not have that kind of money to spend on a knife, but two new variations of the Escort in micarta. You have the contoured scales on this, unlike the flat on the aluminum. You have black canvas micarta on this one, and it looks like a green burlap micarta on this one. Both of them are nice and contoured. These things are super comfortable in hand. And the blade steel on these are 154 cm, which I think Kizer does an excellent job with that. They have the clutch lock on it. Super comfortable in hand, and I particularly like this one more than the aluminum one because it's more comfortable, and it's it's about close in weight. All right, so next up we have a brand new Kizer Kobold 2.0, and this particular one has black aluminum, black blade. It's got that front flipper and that thumb hole for easy deployment, and this particular one is in CPM 4V. So excellent steel. I know it is a, kind of funky looking design, but I must say I tested this one and the 154 cm with the micarta one, and I absolutely loved how good it felt in hand and the action on this thing. Just look at that. Just absolutely amazing. This one is broken in so nicely, but it seemed like anytime I post anything about this, y'all didn't like this one too much, so I never did end up putting the video up on this one. But I do think it's a really good knife. It's just a little funky looking, but it does have a nice full-size blade. I'm kind of thinking about grounding off those two tips right there, making that rounded out going down there. I think it would look nicer. I don't know what it is about the design that kind of throws me off a little bit too. I like how it kicks down like that, but it's nice thick scales, so it fills out the hand nicely. So I'm interested to see how this one feels in hand and how this 4V does. We have a new one from Styles Designs. This is Ti'an, I think it is. I'll show y'all right here, if y'all can see that right there. Ti'an, I think it is. Styles Design. And this is a different one. I got to admit, it's a more medium-sized knife. I can still get a 4-finger grip on it, and it is rather comfortable because this kind of flares out a little bit. I can kind of feel this right here. I don't know if it's going to be a hot spot. It doesn't feel like it will be, but we'll have to wait and see after doing some testing. Now, being that you have already a low grind and with this deep fuller on both sides, your grind is going to come down rather quickly, so it's not going to be the thinnest, sliciest grind. There's no way. There's just not enough to be able to take off from here to there. So it's gonna thicken up rather quickly, but Overall, it's got a beautiful action as far as smoothness goes. Drop action, and the thumb stud action is amazing as well. But that flipper tab, if you notice, you want your flipper tab to be as far as you can above the pivot as possible. If you can get it right above the pivot, that gives you more momentum when you're pulling down. So when it's low like this, and this is pretty much below the pivot, it needs a very stout detent to make it very snappy. So if I do just a regular light switch, that's what you get. But if I do a push button, of course I can make it come out because it is nice and smooth. So, you know, I don't know. I prefer the thumb stud anyway. And you can reverse flick it as well. So it just depends. If you're a flipper guy, if you don't mind doing a push button, then it comes out pretty good. And I'm sure you could probably tune up the lock bar pressure if you wanted a little bit stronger of a detent. Perfectly centered, nice blue accents, just like on his other folder he did with them. Nice and contoured, a nice soft contouring on there. So, like I said, it fills out the hand nicely. It feels good. You have this aesthetic jimping up here pretty much only because it is kind of rounded. It's not really grippy, but you know, this isn't like a hard use knife in my opinion. And I don't know if this has any other functional use besides maybe balancing out the knife, but let's see. Yeah, it's butt heavy. Next up, we have the Coniferous V. And this is a rather interesting one. I checked it out at Blade Show. It has a flat black canvas, I think, micarta scale on here. That nice texture on it. Looks like you have a glass breaker tip or attitude adjuster up here on the top, or you know, less than lethal option there. And you have dual deploying. You got that nice flipper tab that's canted back, very snappy action. Absolutely love that drop point blade. Nice stonewash finish of 154 cm steel. Beautiful. That's going to be a jack of all trades type of blade right there. It's going to be able to handle just about anything you throw at it. It's got a nice sharpening choil that looks like you should have a good bit of sharpening life. It looks like the plunge comes way back here, so that should have a lot of sharpening life before it starts to widen up in the back. Jimping is pretty decently grippy. And that thumb stud action, very, very snappy as well. And what's different about this one is, flip it over, you have a titanium opposite side. Now this is a stainless steel liner lock, but it's an inset locking leaf in there. Nice thick piece of titanium that matches up with the micarta. Stainless steel deep carry pocket clip that's tip up left or right hand carry. Like I said, love the action. Ergos initially feel really good. We'll have to wait and see during the testing. It's kind of hard to see, but you literally have just a locking leaf right here that doesn't go all the way back in the titanium. Then you have a very thin stainless inset liner on the micarta side. I'm guessing maybe for a little bit added rigidity. I don't know. I think you probably could have done without because that's a pretty thick piece of micarta. Two standoffs in the back right here and flow through construction. Nice and smooth action. It's breaking in nicely. Let's see, perfectly centered. Yeah, I like this one. Depending on the price point, you know, this is a very, very nice design. I like it a lot. Love to hear y'all thoughts. Good access to that lock bar. Yep. We also have another fixed blade. This is another Styles design. I think this is third fixed blade by Kizer. Comes with these two soft loops, nice Kydex sheath, nice push-off point, nice positive retention there. No rattle on my sheath. And as you can see, you got some beautiful contouring on these G10 scales. Huge lanyard hole for, you know, whatever you want to fit it in there, baby finger or whatever, I don't know. And some nice jimping up top. But let's check this beauty out. Now, for me, this knife would kind of be a camp knife, maybe a hunting knife. When I was hunting, you know, this would be something excellent to clean large game with, you know, like a deer, boar, something like that. You have a very aggressive point right there. So this could also be a combat tactical style knife as well. And I like how you have another lanyard spot right there, so you could do the lanyard from here to here to make it clasp on your hands. You could also choke up depending on the size of your fingers. And if you want it to get back so you can have a little bit more reach, this is comfortable. You kind of have somewhat of a guard, that being the way this comes out, to where you can do that pinch grip right there. Nice blood groove on both sides, fuller, whatever you want to call it. D2 steel with a nice stonewash finish. And initially, this feels excellent in hand, like all the other styles, design, fixed blades that I've tested. That's something I plan on. Maybe I'll throw this one in there as well. I did the testing on his last two fixed blades that he released. This particular one, what is it? The Elgon, and also the Cabox. And all of them, I mean, these two were nice and comfortable. They perform well. And I was surprised how much I like this one. So if y'all would be interested to see the video of, say, all three of these with their testing and quick reviews, y'all let me know. I think they're all very nice. Now, this next one was probably the night that surprised me the most at Blade Show this year. And that is the brand new Kizer Varatas. Design collaboration with Cubist Blade Works. And I bought this one at Blade Show. Because I want to support Cubist, because he's a super nice guy and I like a lot of his designs. And I must say, they absolutely killed it on this. Kizer, this is probably one of the best knives that Kizer's made, titanium wise, and I just the best. So let's just check out what we see here. We got this cool triangle milling on here, beautiful contoured scales. Milled titanium backspacer that's flush with the both scales. You have a 3D milled titanium pocket clip, and something that I want so many other companies to do. Do you not notice something right here? The lock relief is on the inside. Is it that hard to do? They soften all the edges. You have a nice front flipper action. I would have rather fine cut jimping, but this one grips my fingers perfectly. And you have the thumb hole that is accessible on both sides. This cool square pivot, that's his new signature pivot. Not too sure about this triangle. I'm gonna have to ask Cubist what that is. I don't know if it's just, like from this and they just put a random one there, or maybe because of his logo on the blade right there. I don't know. S35V in steel. And another star for the show besides the milling on it. Wait, one more thing. I don't know. It's hard to see this, but you can probably see it good in the light and in the HD form. Let's see. See that little milled pocket right there? It's hard to see the little circle. It's flush with the scales. And what that is I'm guessing that's the filler tab for the pocket clip. So you can reverse it. How cool is that? Usually it's an eyesore. You can see it. But no, they did such an amazing job. Now, something even cooler is Kizer had sent me one to review. And they're both almost identical action-wise, fit and finish. Both of them perfectly centered. Excellent, excellent examples from Kizer. Love how they did the cutout. It's a little different. It's not a straight cutout on the lock bar. So more than likely, I'm going to be giving one of these away. Y'all definitely need to stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you definitely want to do that because you're going to miss out if not. But let's check out that front flip in action. Works excellent. And I'm not the best front flipper. Super, super smooth action. Like it's very buttery when you slow roll it. I love that feeling. You can also slow roll the front flipper because you keep contact. You can do the index finger flip. Very, very smooth. You can reverse flick it easily. Now, it takes me a little while to get used to, how I'm holding it on here. My medium-sized hands fit nicely here, but I am a little bit further away from that edge. I can creep up here and do kind of like a pistol grip on it to choke up, as long as I'm pulling back this way because I don't want to get too close to that edge. So you could use that as a forward finger choil, being that they did come into the frame a little bit. Access to the lock bar is excellent because it stands a little proud of the show side scale, and they have that nice chamfer, so it's nice and comfortable. You do have a hardened stainless lock insert. So yeah, this thing's outstanding. Beautiful drop point with a nice stone wash finish of S35V in steel. And I'm interested to see what the price point on these are. Because they usually keep them down. And I'm going to tell you right now, if this thing's under $200, pull the trigger. If you like the aesthetics of this knife, I promise you're going to love it. Or if you can't afford it, and I give one of these away, then you might win it. If you're interested in any of the new ones that aren't available now, they will be available on June 11th at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Which ones are y'all favorite? For me, it would be the Varatas and then the Coniferous. Then it would probably be either the Kobold or one of the Escorts. Probably the Kobold because I like this blade design better for the cutting I do. It's just a more, jack of all trades. You got a deeper belly on the Escort. We also have the new styles design. So I'd love to hear y'all thoughts. Which ones y'all want to see reviews on first? I hope everybody's having an absolute amazing day. I will see y'all on the next one. Bye.